about that. I need to get a little more drink. You drink? Uh, Decided I had to get some tea, not some coffee. I had one of those not Red Bull, Monster. It was called Sweet Black. I don't know. It's like nitro brewed, whatever, in a can. Looked interesting. We were at the dollar store, Gin. It's like one of Jin's favorite stores. We went there and they had these monster, latte, whatever the heck you want to call them, for like a buck piece. I'm like, I'll try this. This should be interesting. Good, good. Recommend it. Like it. Good stuff. All right. Let's get this over here. Chat. All right. Gotcha. All right. There we go. So look at his data right here. Some interesting stuff there. The core PCE came in at point 0.1, not the point 0.2 expectation out there. And we're not seeing massive amounts of movement off of it. It's almost like they knew. But at the same time, it's interesting. The stories that we were hearing on Wednesday, they were basically saying, yeah, typically, historically, all those nerds. Of course, core PCE is the most important thing that the Fed looks at. But, there's other things they're looking at. They're ignoring it. And then magically, supposedly it was going to be ignored this time. And then magically it comes in and it's not really there. It's like, uh-huh. So funny that, like, the word is out that they're going to ignore it. And then, yeah, that it comes in as, yeah. Hold on one sec. Sorry, we're coordinating. Oops. Um, so yeah, we're gonna ignore it, and then it comes in as not. If we would have got this reading, I don't know, 2 months ago, this would have been a monstrous move, monstrous. Um, what's interesting today is even and again, looking at the data over here, the flash estimates and the core data for the EU, you didn't see there was a little movement, but nothing major there either. Um, Kind of crazy, right? Kind of crazy. We didn't see a big movement. Again, you can see in the last 60 minutes, it is going back down again. And we are actually seeing a little bit of a dollar pop, but I don't know if that's because, everybody trying to short dollar is having some problems. So, interesting call. We'll see what PMI comes in, and then obviously consumer late out there as well. Late tonight, we have manufacturing PMI for China. Again, take that one with a grain of salt. Not that you're probably trading on Friday evening. I know I won't be. Right now, I've already fielded a call from the county warning us like, hey, listen, there's supposed to be some rain. I'm like, I know, but it's a grass field. But they get very protective with the grass field. She's like, yeah, but if you ruin it, you're going to lose it. I'm like, oh. So, yeah. Anyway, all right. So with that, obviously tomorrow, a little bit of late data. Nothing we can do about that one. Sunday, nothing, and then Monday morning we start cranking in right at 10 o'clock. A little bit of a late start, but got a lot of stuff on Monday morning. So what you do this weekend, the homework that you put in, is going to make a big deal. ISM manufacturing extremely important. Again, previously both below 50. Powell speaking right at 11 o'clock, and he participating in a roundtable with workers and small business owners and community leaders in New York. So is it really, is it a Fed chief outlook, et cetera, et cetera? No. But could be big. And then obviously Harker also talking there. Again, we'll see what they have to say. And then cash rate Monday. Again, holding in the Aussie. So could be some fun stuff on Monday. Let's see how we progress today. So VIX right now, obviously down. Yesterday wasn't too bad. With the data out there, again, it should stay low. I would expect it to stay that way. All the indices, the dollar right now currently down, but since the news has gone out, it's kind of gone back up again. Now, we were kind of pushing down yesterday and late last night. I mean, European session was kind of here, right? Really didn't do much. If anything, it started to push back up from the European session. So a lot of the deterioration, whoops, I was like, wait, way too many candles. A lot of the deterioration kind of started yesterday morning at 3. The US session kind of kicked in right here. We had one little kind of news pop and then down, 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 11:30 reverse, and just continue to push all the way lower until about 5, 6 o'clock this morning. And then obviously the news came out and we're seeing a little bit of a pop back up again. So is that it? Are we done? We'll be surprised if we get some more dollar weakness coming in. We got some sellers up in this area. So if it turns and kind of flips back here, wouldn't necessarily surprise me, right? Wouldn't necessarily surprise me. All the indices in the green pretty decently. NQ up almost a whole percent already. I think it makes sense. I mean, seeing that down there, that may say that, again, maybe the Fed is done. I don't think so. I think Again, I think we're probably, excuse me, a little bit restrictive, but not to the bad point. It's not necessarily increasing, but as I mentioned, I do think that the increases are incoming. Yeah, I mean, again, oil is what it is. Hold on a sec. Um, Sorry, trying to coordinate going to get the truck today. So yeah, so we're still hovering right around that 106 area. I was, with the news today, I would have expected to go a little bit more down. But again, yesterday there was so much movement to the downside. That's why we're seeing kind of the data that we see. Um, is what it is. Like I said, I don't know if it's the market's basically just locked into wait, the Fed's going to raise again, and that's all they hear, or what. But 2 months ago, this would have been a monstrous reaction, and today it's really not. Just a little bit of movement. Um, Commodities. So gold and silver both up. We talked about them both being great buying opportunities yesterday from where they were. Silver back up to 23.29 or 23.30, up 3%. Right, doing a lot more than it should, but even gold back up to 18.73. Up half a percentage. And again, we mentioned yesterday with all the dollar weakness, it looked like it could be a, you know, gold and silver bull day, and that's what we're getting. Now, crude and natural gas both down. Crude barely. We're at 91.50, 91.60, down 0.13. Really not a whole lot there. Um, yeah, it's a shame that one's not down 1.5%. But yeah, it looks like I mean, again, unless there's anything surprising, it looks like we're going to close above 91 today. Maybe we get a big crash suddenly, like, oh my God, you know, we're restrictive, we're not growing, who knows? Natural gas down 0.14%, 290, still way too high, still way too high. We need that one to kind of drop a little bit more. So yeah, is what it is. What are you gonna do? It's all we got. So hey, to each his own. Nothing we can do with that one. Diving across over the Aussie dollar. So Aussie dollar. Again, we've gone through the 78. Again, one, two, three, four is what broke through that area finally. And again, we were kind of whipsawing back and forth. Kind of surprised. We ended up getting that chop right here at that 61.8. And again, it went down, hit it, and went down again. And it's like, and then failed. So again, kind of a misleading one there. Let's pull this one off. Actually, this 78 has already been tagged as well. So let's rerun this one. We can take that off now too. We're well beyond that one. So let's run this all the way up. Boom, boom, boom. We talked about that yesterday too. So right now, a couple interesting things in this one. If you look right here, there's obviously a big level of basing right there, and it was preceded by somewhat of a little bit of a racetrack. So don't know that this will be a today trade. We might run out of steam. I'm actually kind of hoping and cheering that we bounce off the 23 and bounce a little bit higher. So right there is a 1 to 3. It's a little tiny bit deep. It's not bad. 9 for 27 in the other direction, right? Not the worst of trades. Um, I think that one's pretty good. Again, I don't know if it's going to have enough time to kind of initiate today and trigger today, but that could definitely be a Sunday-based trade. And it's all it is a return of dollar strength. And can Pal um, could something that Pal says change this? Sure, sure. And we also have the Aussie data. So there's a lot in there. I'm kind of hoping we come down, bounce, and then we start off Sunday, kind of a fresh, kind of over in here. So, but I would say that's one potential setup. And again, you can see a lot of as far as profit targets to the downside go. Here's one right here that is backstopped, right? Backstopped by the 50 as well as buyers in here. So, kind of looking at something along those lines, right? Um, Yeah, it's probably for Aussie. Again, I think this is way too high. I think, again, the dollar's one thing, but the Aussie, again, they're not going to hold. I think they're done. They can say that, hey, we could raise one more time. Um, I think the I can raise one more time thing is starting to get a little bit long, particularly for like Australia. Because Australia, remember, Australia is not directly linked, but for the most part, they're directly linked. Um, with China. China data is having China's having industrial problems. They get resources from Australia, so kind of hurts them over there. Aussie yen. All right, so Aussie yen. 95, 96. It came in at 1230, hit and started the base in here and started the chop back and forth and then punched up again and then went back down. You're like, oh, wait a second. We hit it, we went down, we came back up again, and we pulled back. It's going through. And it did. It went all the way through two different levels. One, and we had this other one up here that, again, is this the best crafted level? Not really. I mean, it was an old kind of Harry Potter level. We chopped through, grabbed it again, and we tested it again, and we tested it again. So it went through it. It wasn't the best of levels, right? We take this and clear it right now. You can see there's a little bit of a kick right there. Problem is, these are all like this: one, two, three strikes and drop. One, two, three strikes and drop. So not the best of levels. There's a little bit of a test in there. I don't love this one. Like I said, the strike up and then the strike up again and then the test. I don't love that one. And even this one up here. Four hits right there. There's the initial push. One, two, three, and four. So really that's not even the best level. Yeah, and look, we actually chopped through that one. So it grabbed the top one, didn't it? It did grab the top one. Yeah. Actually pushed a little bit through the top one. But again, so we're talking about original zone, one, two, three, four. And now punch through. So we can remove all this and set this one up for next week. Let's see. Not a bigger area. 18. Got Hmm. There's a little bit of sense of buyers right here, but right now I would say again, short off the top of this one. Say that's our target right now. 95, 93 is where our target is. So about 60 pips down. 60, 70 pips down. Um, about a day's worth of movement, but kind of like that as a target, particularly with the Aussie data coming in. So it's all right. It's all right. Again, high on the curve, kind of the same as the Aussie dollar. We talked about it yesterday. They were both ended up able to drive through the top side, but I think at this point we're getting to a peak. But we're not really at a great turning point. The best turning point up here is the 97.40. So look for that one. Euro dollar. Look at this dollar strength coming back in. There you go. Had a little bit of a zone right here. Right, we were pulling up to the 50. There's a little bit of a wick back there. So again, kind of for the news, the European-based news. Um, right, all the core data at 5 o'clock. We saw that we're pushing up, and right here at 3 o'clock, you're like, wait a second, what are we running into? So if you went down the lower time frame, you're able to find a wick over wick with a test in here. This is one of those ones you can see a test. You're like, we're getting close. When you drop down to a 15-minute, you can see the green candle, the drop, the base, the drop back down again, and then the confirmation touch over here. And that's what led to that zone. Okay, so you can see at this point, obviously, I don't need to draw it. It's past the 1 to 3 at this point. It's coming back down. All right, so I think there's probably some dollar weakness. Again, we're due for a little bit of dollar weakness today, but again, it was nothing but dollar weakness yesterday, and now we're kind of seeing the reversal of it. There is a level down here, and I would say that this is probably more of a target, 105.57. It's only about 20 pips lower than where we are. So I mean, if you've missed this kind of news spike down, it's a little bit too late at this point to catch this one. But if you are into it, that's the last time buyers stepped in. Be cautious. Again, obviously buyers in here, but we should be able to kind of rally and push a little bit through that one. Um, Overall, I do think that again, this level of basing here, I'm going to say use caution with it. It is right at a 50% retracement. We can take this guy. We'll take this one off. Take that one off now, so we can clean it up for next week. It's a level, doesn't really qualify necessarily for a Harry Potter down. I think it's a great target today. I'm afraid, like we hit it at 12 o'clock today. We're not going to have enough time to actually use it. It's great that it's level. If this was Monday or Tuesday, hot tea. It'd be a better level, but just being a Friday, I don't think we're gonna have a lot of tradable resources off of it. But this is one of those scenarios where drawing some fibs on there again, getting the base with the pop in there obviously makes it kind of handy. All right, so yeah, decent spot. Target first. If you really want to get into it, we get there by 12 o'clock. You could potentially trade it, and all that would be dollar weakness rolling back into the market, not necessarily European strength, because the European market will be closed in 2 hours. Okay. Euro pound. Look at this euro pound trade. So here's when the news came out right here at 5. So it did rally back up, and we had marked this one yesterday, talking about it right there. And it was an old Harry Potter level. I mean, we'd hit it here and front run, front run, front run, front run, front run, front run, and finally punched through. And we're kind of sitting at a peak right here. We talk about what happens an hour and a half beforehand. Well, guess what? Um, it literally shot it right up, right? It literally shot right up an hour and a half. It went whoop right there for news, and then bam, the immediate crash down again. So the response to this one was right. Again, whether there was a zone there to trade, again, there really wasn't. We knew that we had an old level here that we were looking for. And you could see the sellers there, but it ended up driving through that before news. So again, the response to the news was dead on. I mean, it was exactly what it should have done. As far as how to prepare this one for next week, again, it is the euro pound. It's got a 16 pip 4-hour move and 39 pip on a daily. So yeah. Hmm. hmm. I think be cautious at this bottom. Yeah, I think cautious at the bottom. Any other time I would kind of like this zone, but there's nothing over there. I think right now this one's bracketed top and bottom. I think again so much up top here. I think we look there. I think we look. hmm, ugh. God, I want to stick one of these down here, and I almost want to put that as a buy. Um, It is lower though. Ugh. It's a shame this is not the opposite. If this was the lower one and this was the higher one, I would say this is not a bad spot to pull the trigger. I think we probably come up. I think we're going to end up getting some selling coming in here. You can't deny it is a zone, right? Um, it is sitting right smack in the middle of the curve. If it was at the top, this would be a decent zone to take off of. But again, there's nothing over here besides a 50. It ended up punching through. So use caution with it. Like I said, I think we probably get up and then we just flatline. Again, with the European market closing in 2 hours, I think we're going to run out of steam on this one. So it's a shame it's not earlier in the week, or it's a shame this pattern is not sitting up here. I'd like it much better. But I think right now our tops and bottoms on this one, as far as what the range goes, is 8705. Oops, 8705 and 8634. I think that's kind of our top and bottom. And again, I want to see. Wish this was switched. That wouldn't be a bad one. Euro. All right, so we blew through this yesterday, and again, we're still playing with the 158. We did punch above, and you can see we missed it by just like a little tiny bit. It's a smidge at 530. Um, Again, we knew that was a zone, but again, 1, 2, 3, and this was hit number 4. It did. It rallied straight up in that time. Again, Harry Potter has not initiated yet, but we can pull it off now. We slice through it here, and we slice through and put buyers in. So we're going to pull it now. It has not, down up, and a wick down is not a trigger. So we're going to pull it. I think right now it's kind of the same bracketing as we just drew. Obviously, bottoms and tops are supported on both sides, but 158 is going to be a major source in here. Um, right now, I'd say bearish. The data justifies bearish. We're seeing the same play in all the yen. It's a little bit flat, but 158 is going to be a major kind of magnet right now. Um, I think things you need to watch out for. Look at this little pop right here. Um, Obviously, again, 3 ascending wicks in a row. There's buyers sitting down there. Um, so something that we want to watch out for. right? What? Sometimes my mom does speech to text. I don't know if she's like not talking into the phone, but I need like a translator. I'm like, what are you saying? Like I can't figure it out. And I'll tell her like, Mom, I have no idea what you're saying. She's like, well, at least I spell it right. I'm like, well, you're using the wrong words. She's like, well, I just talked and it typed it. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's what happens when you teach technology to older people. Um, yeah. So again, watch for the zone in here. I think use caution in there. There we go. 157.50 ish. Again, that's going to make the difference. Hello, buds. Hello, buds. Hello, buds. All right. Yeah, so that would be my target for today. Look for it to pull back down. Again, we will see a little bit of bunging over this 158 time frame. Pound dollar. All right, so funny. All that strength rolling in. They just again, one, two, three. Based in there, number four, and it broke. It kind of tried to Harry Potter off the other side. So we can remove it. That's what happened. We're looking for this one. We're looking for it to push down so we could play it up. It did the exact opposite yesterday. It ground higher, 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 higher. And then magically, it's like it knew. It went down and then pulled right back up for news to continue the push to the downside. So again, this is dollar strength rolling back in. I guess this is what they meant by the Fed was going to just completely ignore core PCE. And you can see slice through the 23 like it didn't exist. There's obviously, again, target wise, you can see there's a lot going on here at 121.90. I think that's your target for the downside. Get yourself out before all this chop. Due to the fact that we had this here, this here, this here, all the way through, this is going to be an area stack with buyers. So this is a potential reversal point for today. If you're short this one, I think 121.95, probably a good spot. Again, we are at 10 o'clock now, so we are approaching, but I think that's where we're looking for it. Again, this is one of those ones that, you know, the chart is the exact opposite of what the fundamentals are showing. Again, they drove it up, drove it up, drove it up, and then the Europeans took over, and they're like, yeah, here we go. They drove it up one last time, put it at a peak for the U.S. data, which, again, many would see this data as very, very weak U.S. data, right? Very, very weak data. And what's the response? Straight down. And it's a pretty decent run from the, 60 pips. That's 60 pips, right? 60 pips is a nice move. So I love it. Dollar dips, but set for the best quarter in a year. A dip, but it's not dipping that much, right? Since the news came out, it's doing quite well. So yeah, as far as this one goes, it's going to go back in the middle of that range. As far as the top, let's see. The top, unfortunately, the top turned at a weird place. Kind of playing with this one, but I will say I actually don't mind this top. Actually, you know what? Let's do this one just so it doesn't measure on there. 15. Not a bad spot. Again, it's kind of a failure to go higher type scenario. How much of a push up is it? 40? This could be an interesting Sunday night trade. Friday, Sunday, right there. If we're able to kind of grind ourselves up when we open up in there, I think that could be a decent spot. Again, I like the top in there. Confirm sellers. You got this mark right there, right? So that could be an interesting Sunday play if we're up there. Not bad, not bad. So, like I said, if you're in this one, we're already starting to slow down at 10:30. Again, if you're up 50 pips, take the profit. Be done for Friday. It is what it is. It's Friday. There's no reason to trade late today. Pound yen. Funny enough, again, we're seeing that yen strength since that 8:30 time frame. Yen strength across the board. Now, we did get one more hit yesterday, or early this morning at 3:30. We did hit that Harry Potter zone. Think that's awesome. Now we got the 1, we got the 2, we got the 3, and this is number 4 rolling through. So I'm even more excited about this right now. Kind of hoping that we don't. I'm kind of hoping we do one more fourth hit and we bounce off of it so we can use it next week. That would be the ideal scenario. I kind of don't want to blow this one up today at like 2 o'clock. I don't want to roll through here at 2 o'clock and ruin this one. Unfortunately, I feel like it has that possibility. 18 for 55. Can we move that today if we break through at 12? Probably not. Probably not. So I'm kind of hoping that we like hit here and then bounce one more time and then save it for next week. But it's one of those ones that it's like, you know what? Throw an alert on there. Right. Throw the alert there. Um, it's not the bad. It's not a bad spot, right? Not a bad spot. So I, yeah, I again same setup. I love the fact that we hit. I'd love for us to bounce one more time. If we can hit and bounce one more time, I think this one holds into next week. Um, yeah, I think we look for that one to come through. God, I hope that one doesn't blow up. I'm really kind of hoping that one doesn't blow up today. So we'll see. That's where the alert is set. So, Dollar CAD. Dollar CAD minus 0.06. So, funny enough, we talked about the boom, 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 and I almost hit it. Look, we kind of went down, then we came up, and we came down, and we went back up. So, I almost got it on. Um, and then this morning, they loaded this sucker up, right? Super dollar weakness in time for news. And what are we doing? We're running right back up. Look at this. We run high to low in here. There's your highs and lows. Bam, we snuck right back into there, coming back up to that 135. And again, we're seeing strong dollar weakness out of this one, right? Strong dollar weakness. I mean, the move since news came out is about 64 pips. It's got a 65 pip daily ATR. So it shot down to load itself up to make it on sale. And then boom, it's going right back up into that window of 35. And I think, again, we can get profit in here. We can get profit at 35. I think we probably end right around that 35 mark for today. Again, if you did not get in on this kind of, I don't want to call it news manipulation, but that's what it is. Um, yeah, I think this one's probably a dead trade today. Again, all the news move has happened. I think we float somewhere around this 135. I'd like to see where we are next week for it as well. Opening for this one, and again, this one is half US, half oil story right now, so a little bit harder. But man, look at that, straight down, straight back up again, literally right where the European market opened. So kind of funny. Days worth of movement down, prepared for, and then right back. So, look for 135. Dollar Swiss, almost did the same exact thing. All right. Actually, that's the 8 o'clock window. It should be right there at 8:30. So this one took off a little bit more. We hit our target yesterday. We were talking about 91.20 was a target that we were looking to hit. 2:30 in the morning, we ended up smashing through that and we hit it. And then we were talking about finding some type of position. And if we drove down, we were looking for long opportunity. Funny enough, we missed this by if it's on the 8:30 mark, I'm on. It did. It ran back down and then kind of pushed up. So kind of gave us the trade that we were looking for. I didn't expect it to go lower. I expected it to kind of hold here, but it went lower, went back up and broke that zone again, and then literally lined right back up to the 120. So it's kind of did what we expected. We can pull this off now. I don't know why. It must have when I changed the time that must have moved because it moved to 8 instead of 8:30. So I must have drug it on one of the larger time frames. I don't know. It's weird. But you can see it loaded up right in time for news, and then we shot higher. So where we are now, again, we have a defined top in, so we can go ahead and use that defined top to see where we could potentially see some selling coming in. And you can see there's a level right at the 50, the old 23.6, which kind of got chopped through. There's a little basing here, and then a little base here, and then a push off again. So again, I would expect profit taking to come in. Obviously, the area between 50 and 61.8 is a big deal, right in there. Again, we're getting close to 10:30, so could that be the could that be where we see? Okay, that's not important. That could be where the reversal comes in. Again, if you're not in the trade on this one, and this is a decent mover, yeah, it's about 45 pips, so it's got a day's worth of movement since the news came out. Yeah, I think look for the reversal on this one. We can pull this guy off. We don't need that anymore. Whoops, that's the one I wanted to remove. I'll set this one up for next week. Kind of surprised it turned off that one. It used that one. Again, unfortunately, there's just not a great zone to draw in here, but I'm kind of surprised that it used that one. Typically, don't see that. It was a 6:30 in the morning one on Monday. So yeah, again, I would expect profit taking come in if you're already long this one. Be very, very cautious once you get up to 91.55. Yeah. So, eh, watch that. Watch it for the reversal. Ideally, I like to come up and if we can base in here and start to grind through that, I think that's a great place to be for next week. Where we are with the dollar, again, I think as people see this, I think more words going to get out. At this point, with the data today, I'm wondering if we go into next week with a dollar short, with dollar short positions. Again, very, very high on the curve. Starting to see the Dixie pull back again. The data today was pretty weak, and again, it's they said that they were going to ignore it, and now we kind of know why they were going to ignore it. But again, I think there could be some decent trades next week with the short. And where this one is set up right now, not that the Swiss is, raising interest rates for the next 12 times or anything like that. The Swiss is not, the Swiss is not the bullish juggernaut, but I think any dollar weakness pulls in. I think this one has the ability to kind of pull back a little bit. So, where we are, potential trade set up for next week. Right. But today, again, probably a bounce off this 50 and a push back down. Dollar yen, look at this one. All the way down, and then obviously the Europeans were like, nope, we're not fooled. They shot it right back up again. Quite a indecisive kind of push here. So we did get the push down. Let's remove some of these just to kind of clean it up. We can pull this one off. Kind of surprised that one shot through, but Europeans jacked that one around again. I'm going to push this back up again. So kind of a similar fashion. You can see up here, 149.50, 55-ish level. Probably a decent profit target today. Again, extremely high dollar yen. Again, I don't think we're going to get much intervention on the yen side this weekend, but who knows? You never know. I think this will be a dollar play probably on Monday. Ideally, I'd like us to be closer to the 150 mark. I think if we hit 150, I think the BOJ will get involved. I don't think we're there yet where they're going to get involved, but I think we're probably pretty close, right? I think we're probably pretty close. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Most likely, not close enough. Yeah, 56. Hmm. Hmm. Hold on. So yeah, I think potential reversal target today. Get yourself out before then. I would actually do it. Probably do it right at the 50 mark if you're long. Get yourself at 149.50. Although you are going to have to chop through there a little bit. So I think that's a safe way. Sunday night, if we open up here, I think there could be some decent short trades in the overnight. TLT's all the way back down. Let's check out oil. Oil taking a big tank. Oil taking a big tank. Now remember, oil, natural gas, all the commodities, they do close earlier on Friday. Again, that market doesn't last as long. I don't know. At this point, I'm excited. It's like, ooh, we're surging. Can we actually close the week below 91? That would be awesome. Much better than the 95 that we touched this week. Again, that was the 52-week high, right? The 52-week range, the high is 95.03. That's exactly what we hit yesterday or on Wednesday. So, yeah, I'd say we need to be very cautious of this level. Yesterday we talked about this level was backstopped by the 23.6. We would see buyers. You can see the front side of that one. And it ended up bouncing off of it twice before rallying back up to 93. So going from 91.50 up to 93, from 4:30 to about 8. And then obviously the US data is kind of dropping this one to the downside. So kind of surprised. And again, maybe they're, I don't know. This shouldn't have moved this much. Yeah. It says crude futures lower and choppy end of the quarter trading. I'm actually kind of surprised we had this much of a move. Let me see. Was there something smaller? Um, Spending was down, but it was up from before. So maybe the PMI was involved there. Confidence was good. Inflation expectations actually increased a little bit. The balance is good for the dollar. Maybe it's this. Maybe it's the spending down. What was the adjustment from? Expected to be. It was expect. Okay, so it actually was higher and then went lower. Um. Hmm. It's kind of interesting. I'm gonna say that's a quite a reaction. That's a big reaction for that data today. And again, maybe some of that's involved with personal spending. Quite choppy though in the last 2 days. I'd say right now. Let's see. Again, just taking the most recent high to low. I think this is a big question right here. Look at this. So it's the old opposite side of the 23. 61.8 is buried right there. We're kind of entering it right now. Um, Oops, yeah, it's that one. I don't know that we'll have enough time for this one today, but it gets us down to the right spot. 88.80. That would be a monstrous Friday move. 93 to 88. Wow. That would be a big one. I don't I'd like the Harry Potter in here. Maybe if we get some basing in here, we can establish something, right? But I'm just afraid because it's Friday, we only got about 4 hours left before this guy closes. It'll really start to flatline on us. Hmm. But interesting enough, look at this, right? Europeans shot this sucker straight up for a short trade when that news came out, right? A lot of manipulation in that market. A lot of manipulation. So yeah, we'll see how that one goes. Eh, natural gas. See, this one is not moving enough. This one we want to gap all the way down. Yeah. Look at this. They drove it straight down, and magically, as soon as the market opened, we started to see it rally up again. So again, this zone is still holding, right? We marked that one off for a potential Harry Potter to try to fill that gap, and we hit it, and we hit it again, and we hit it deeper. So we are hitting it deeper, and potentially we can push to the downside. So there was, we talked about 192.72. Um, Yesterday we hit that at 10, pulled back. It ended up going up there late last night and then using it again, and then the European shot it straight down. So if you had used that trade yesterday, you were good. It got you out. Again, this didn't get you stopped out. Right here, we'll just put it in here. Right there's the top of the zone right there, and 1 to 3 is sitting right there. So you were out at 8 o'clock this morning. So ideally, we want this one to drop a lot farther. Again, I'm happy with the movement we've had in crude. I'd love to see this breakthrough, but 842, 843 is the magic number of where this one needs to go. So yeah, natural gas drops as mild temperatures snap demand. And now it's pushing back up. But here's the thing: if the temperatures get too cold, it's going to go back up again. So, yeah, I'd like to see this breakthrough. If this breaks through, this could be setting up a potential short for next week. So, yeah, it's there. Gold pushed it up and then slammed it down with the dollar strength going in. Funny enough, look, hour and a half beforehand, pushed right back up again. Did it go into a 23? It didn't, but there's a lot of basing there. Actually, it did touch the 23. So, and we're seeing the grind in this one. Again, it was very positive for a bit, but again, they were driving it up for the news to come out, and then again, I don't think anybody expected this much dollar strength coming in. And again, I don't know if this is you know, I don't know if this is killing shorts or what they're trying to do on this one, but yeah, the market is really playing this one hard. So ideally, what we'd like to see is again, I think 1862, 1800 down. Let's pull some of these old ones real quick. Hmm. Pull this off. So looks like now again, we got to be able to break through this. They're getting up ahead of steam to do it. Um, there's enough time today. We're gonna look to trade gold again. If we can break through this 1853, I think we look at 1836 as a potential area to pop down to. Again, we're gonna need continued dollar strength, and I do think profit taking will come in because we've had a lot of dollar movement since the news came out. Um, I think people are gonna take money off the table going into the weekend. So I'm kind of wondering if we bounce, if we take a little bit of a bounce, we end up over here, then we take this one short next week if we see dollar strength pull back in. It's fine. It's fine. Silver. Look at the manipulation in this one. 830 spike up. Bam! Right to the downside. Man. Um, yeah, it loaded up. Look at that. Yeah, you could tell it was gonna break. One, two, three came up and started chopping back and forth for news. It's like, yep, the zone is done. And what did it do? Went up and grabbed this guy. Right. Right where the arrow is pointing. Sometimes I don't want to see it. Anyway, you can see there was where the arrow is pointing. Here, I just pull it back further. It's not the arrow's not pointing there anywhere. But basically you can see it now. Right there. There's your confirmation right hiding above the 78. I don't care about the 78, but people will look at it. That's what it used. So yeah. So we got the big punch off of this level. Again, did it multiple times. Didn't matter how you looked at that when it came through. Right now, let's pull this guy off. Let's run fibs on this one. Although we're crushing the fibs right now. Yeah. Boom, 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 all the way through. There are some buyers there right now, though. So, again, if we do see that reversal in the dollar, this one has already started to turn. There may be some stabilization, some profit taking. If you were short this trade from up top, absolutely get out of it now. This is where you should. Don't worry about getting greedy, especially on a Friday. This is where we see turnings coming in. 61.8, a level of basing. Um, right now, we're sitting in the middle of the range, kind of no man's land, which is typically a no-no. Basically, it's 10:30 or 10:20. The trade is done. Straight up with news. Grab the zone, last confirmed level after this big push. And again, we knew we had a racetrack sitting there. So yeah, nice little move. I mean, this would probably made people probably did pretty well with this one today. So overall, kind of sitting in the middle. I would say mark this one off top and bottom. I'm good with kind of the top here, bottom here. This should just again, it's not really a green. Here, we'll just change these to yellow real quick just so everybody understands. There's kind of our bracket right now. 2350 and 2250. It's the same thing we've been kind of talking about all week as being the top and the bottom, and then the 23 will act as a magnet. So, not much different than what we were, Again, nice movement with news, though. Nice movement with news. We're running into some problems where it is now. Here, Tesla finally broke out of the channel. Question is, can it get out of these sellers? Can it get out of there? It's going to be the big problem. So, yeah. So, Apple, and again, I'm using these two because people like to watch them. Sellers, we're smashing into it now. Tesla, sellers. Okay, so will we see somewhat of a pullback now? What's the dollar doing? Dollar's still rallying. the fix is down huge. Yeah, because all the core PC data is out. That's why. But look at dollar. Dollar's about to go positive. 0.00 right now, percentage wise. We are running into some sellers, so let's see. Will we get some help from the dollar here? Probably a little bit. It looks like there's probably a zone sitting right here. So we got a little bit more room to run in the dollar before it probably turns and flips. So we got a little bit more help there. So let's see ES wise what we got in here. 745. Unfortunately, the spike is at 830. 930 was the peak. So again, nothing confirmed in the overnight to that level to the top side. Yeah, it blew all the way through. None of that really even mattered. So We're gonna pull fibs on that one. Let's go low to high and see what we got here. Yeah, there's a little bit there. Not too much. Let's clear these for next week. But as far as opening print goes, the opening print was right here. See how it was flatlined, right? It looked like it was more of a kind of a short. And there's not really a zone. I mean, there's a zone here, but nothing great, you know. Yeah, unfortunately, not a zone to use. So the way this one looks right now, we were at a peak and it looks like it's starting to accelerate to the downside. There is some basing of the 23 and that would help. But if we're able to break through that level, it looks like 43.34 is probably on. You can see there's a big area of buyers all in there. So, yeah, looks like ES has the ability to go negative today. And again, if you know, it's great to see the percentage change is green, you know, from the close, but from the open, if you bought at the open, you're it's accelerating to the downside. We'll see if the 23 traders can save us at everything. But opening print, nope. Again, playing with 15,000, and we're sitting right there. Yeah, no trade, unfortunately. You were sitting at 15,000. If anything, I would say more of a short base trade. You can see it did go a little bit higher, but there's nothing confirmed in the overnight that we can use. It did go back and it grabbed the level here. Let's take this one, and this was an old level. I don't know that it'll be used anymore. We can leave it there. It's okay. It's all right. I don't love it though. See on the opposite direction. Is there anything that short-term traders are going to get involved with? Yeah, right around the 50. So kind of the same thing. If you're looking for profit targets, I would say there and probably there would be your two profit targets for today. Those are your two profit targets. So, the opening print, we were kind of sitting at the high on 15,000. So not really. And NQ is the strongest right now. So NQ is the strongest. We'll see if this one deteriorates any faster. YM, what do we got here? Yeah, look, 845, 915. Again, we're sitting at the peak. There's your touch. 12 o'clock yesterday. 12 o'clock yesterday. We talked about doing one more, and there you go. There's your one more. Right there. It doesn't work because it was already triggered over here, but you can see it went in again. So let's remove that. We can take this guy off. That trade was good. Let's see. Again, opening print. We were playing with probably this one right here. Missed it by a little bit, so you probably missed this one. Yeah. Blew through the 23. Probably, yeah, I'd say profit right there, 33,851 if you're short. But as far as opening print goes, again, yeah, we're so close to a zone, waiting for that 930, and it just did nothing, and then collapse. I would say that this is the weakest on the board, but it's not. Russell's weak just by a little bit more. It's 0.07 or 0.08 to 0.04. So close. There's probably some profit taking coming in. Again, if you got long from the open, it's a painful morning. Painful morning, but again, it would have been more of a short setup. It did not trigger for us as far as the rules go. And Russell, let's see, 915 is right here. Yeah, it's kind of a, we had the red, we had the green at 915, and then the close down. And it did come back up and grab it. Right. Red, green, red there. Confirmation. I dropped it down to the 5 so you could see kind of the pullback. It did a 930 pullback, but you grabbed it at 10. But yeah, if you did on the 15, you can see the red, green, red. We block off the top section of it, and boom, it came up here at 10 o'clock and continued to push to the downside. Russell is the weakest. It is green by 0.1, so it's trying. It's running into buyers as it should. It makes sense. As far as opening print goes, the Russell was probably the best short on the board. I know there's a little bit more movement in the other ones, but as far as cleanest entry, probably the Russell. Excuse me. Probably the Russell. So yeah, interesting morning with the dollar, right? Again, this is since the news came out, this is a lot of movement, right? This is a lot of movement. This is 830 up. I did think it was strange they were saying, "Hey, we're going to ignore PCE this week," right? I assumed that it was going to be a pop, not a decline over the expectation. But it was interesting that I saw that article Wednesday, I think, that they said, yeah, although it's preferred, they're looking at other data and they're not going to be as focused and they'll be ignoring it this week. Interesting that that's the week that we go under on, not under, but not negative, but lower than the forecast. So But yeah, I think again we mentioned this dollar is getting very very close. Really, where we are right now, this is the early side of it. Right, that's the early side of it. So we're kind of sitting there right now. It's 10:30. We've seen massive dollar movement since the news came out. So this is the reversal time of when things will come in. So just be cautious with it and play it. It is Friday though, so again, don't trade too long today. Volume will start getting weird, start drying up. So you don't want to get burned on that. All right, that's it for today. Let's go ahead and do our drawing. I will give you guys till the 4 mark, and we'll see how it rolls. Tea I like tea. I like tea, but I feel like it does not have their same reaction. I did like that. It was a good monster, but it had 200 milligrams of caffeine, so I figured that's like 2.5 cups of coffee in one can. So I feel like maybe I should call that one quits. But I like it. It was good. It was good. But the tea, I'm just not getting the same placebo effect. Right? Oh man, there we go. 401. I missed it by one. All right, here we go. Winner of today's drawing is Ernest. He takes it. 2 in a row. 2 in a row. Right? So yeah, yesterday he was down 90. Today he is positive 10. So he's still down 80. He needs to win Monday. Right? He needs to win Monday. So again, playing the long game. Last time the long game did not work for you. So let's see if the long game helps you. You're 100. There we go. We'll see if the long game works. All right, with that, have a great weekend. I know that's raining here, but again, stay dry, stay warm, stay cool wherever you guys are at. Have a wonderful, safe weekend, and I'll catch you guys back Monday morning, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Have any questions, shoot me a message in Discord. If not, I will see you Monday morning. Have a good one. Thanks.